My little pirates, Luffy's Adventures in Equestria. Next chapter, Fullmetal Pony, to ashes. Running up the path to the scaffold, Ivankov glanced up at the sizable afro. Classic tufts of purple hair, Luffy emerged from the massive dew and took a breath. His eyes went over to the execution platform as he pressed his legs against Ivankov's head. Ace! He yelled, launching forward. I'm coming to get... He stalled at the sight of Ace standing upright, flames swirling around him and flickering off his body, curling his fingers into a fist. He launched a massive ball of flame that Sengoku deftly dodged. Veins pulsed on his head to sight of Luffy joining Ace on the platform. Oh, huh, said Luffy. Guess you got free by yourself. You think some shackles off guarantees your freedom? Sengoku snapped. His body exploded outwards, rising higher and higher until it dwarfed even the giant's mass. Unable to contain his new size, his uniform fell to his sides, leaving only his coat draped over his shoulders. Sunlight glistened off at him as his skin shined to a sheen brighter than the purest gold. Pulling back across the arm, he aimed it down at Ace and Luffy. I'll execute you myself! He roared as his fist came crashing down. Luffy! Ace called out. Move! No way! Luffy shouted before biting down onto a thumb. Luffy jumped off into the path of Sengoku's fist as his torso swirled up to match the size of the attack. The blow slammed into him, sending a bit of blood out of his mouth. Below, Ace looked up as Ace and Sengoku's fist bared down on him, grinding his teeth. He summoned the flames just as Luffy was about to crash into him. However, before the impact occurred, Luffy slammed into a flickering blue shield. On her knees, Trixie shook as she stared upwards, her horns sending out sparks that glowing bright. A sharp crack from below broke her concentration. The shield fancy as the ground fell away from her. Timber splinted and metal bent, and the entire platform tilted aside before the wood fully snapped. The bolts holding the steel beams together shot off like bullets. Men! A vice admiral bellowed. Fire on them while they're in the air! Sir, one of them is rubber. Shut up! Damn! Sengoku cursed, shrinking back down to normal size, kicking himself away from the collapsing platform. Motors, cannons, and every manner of gun took sights of the platform. A sense of gunpowder filled the air, and the weapons loads homing in on the three falling figures. Tracy screamed and flailed around, grabbing onto Luffy, easily wrapping her hose around his stricken form. Trixie can't die this way! The rest of her cry was drowned out by the roar of explosions. A great ball of flame and smoke swallowed the three up. Hose left of the scaffold turned into scrap in an instant. Split timber and I-beams launching into bow was coming to a sudden halt at the sight of fire, followed by Sengoku's looming from the top of the platform. Ace! Called out Whitebeard. Look! Someone else calmed out. Smoke drifting into the air, remains of the explosion turned brighter. As the haze cleared away, roaring flames came into sight. They spiraled around into a huge tunnel, more and more of the blaze spilling off of Ace's back. Clutching Luffy, he looked down at him and Trixie, who was now stuffed between Luffy's chest and arm. You never change, Luffy, he said. You never do as I tell you, you get yourself into big trouble. Sending out more flames, Ace channeled them down to a great pillar. Waves of fire spread across the ground, turning the stones red and white, blasting away nearby marines. He landed in a ring of flames, followed by Luffy as he set Trixie down. Can you still fight? Ace asked. Of course! Luffy huffed. Now that you're free, A beam of light blew through the plaza and went straight to Luffy's chest. Glanced out to clean hold and pierced him before tumbling down. A shallow gargle of gas escaped his mouth. Amidst the fray, Kizaru lowered his index finger. That's one, he mused. Luffy! Ace cried out, grabbing his brother. Ace! Luffy coughed. Damn it! Ace twisted his head towards Trixie. You! Help me get Luffy onto your back! Trixie is not a mule! She shouted back. Trixie is not staying down here any longer! Help me now! Ace roared, interrupting her flak, falling down around Trixie, licking at her hose. It just will be uncomfortable, she squalled as she got to her knees. She gave a small whimper as Ace placed Luffy onto her back. A shiver ran through her when something hot and wet spread over her coat. Pushing herself up, she saw the Marines bursting through the smoke and flames. They raced at her, swords for Ace held high, guns cocked. An enormous fist, raging like the sun, smashed at him, blowing them away, leaving only cinders and stones and scores behind. Protecting his arms, Ace looked back at Trixie. Come on! We need to find one of my crew's starters! They rushed through the carnage, explosives and bullets raining down on them as the clang of steel rang through their ears. Unacceptable! Said Goku growled. How the hell could this happen? His hand shot down and grasped one of Garth's burly arms, pulling him out of the cracked earth at the base of the ruined scaffold. His uniform was stained red on one shoulder, with 2 large puncture wounds and one needle-like fang tearing through the cloth. His tanned skin was slightly pale and there was glaze over his eyes. Placing a palm against his left elbow, he gave a little shake. Are you back with us? Asked Sengoku. Yeah, just... Garth was cut off by Sengoku burying a fist into his stomach. Haki went to his knees. Sorry, said Sengoku. Had to make sure you weren't a changeling. You deserved it for hesitating as well. Ugh. Suddenly up to his feet, Garth placed a head over his navel. Anyone else did knew when beginning up. Now, what do we do? Rebels shook Garth, silencing him. He went to one knee as the full force of an earthquake slammed into Marine headquarters. Above, the entire structure cracked, and the great characters of Navy splitting apart, the right side swooping down slightly. Across the plaza, Whitebeard brought his arm back and slammed his Bassetto into the ground. Get away here from my sons! He called out. Survive and return to the new world! Damn! Sengoku cursed, his face rattling at his sides. Alright, Ace is free. He's going to throw everything he has left into sinking this island. He's going to bring this whole era to an end. Garth puffed and take us with it. Hey! Mr. 3 gave Bucky another shake. Come on, even the dead Mushi woke up before you. With a guttural snort, Bucky woke up. Before him was a lake of flame of fires and rocks that glowed like red coals. Beyond that, inferno swept across the island, the flames dancing along to the macabre song of gunfire, clang of swords and battle cries. Above all the madness, chunks of Marine HQ tumbled out of the damaged fortress and disappeared into the chaotic battle below. So thick was the smoke and gunpowder that it loomed over the entire island like a second sky, casting everything in a harsh light. Buggy literally fell backwards. Hell again. The fresh air of life was so nice. We're not dead, Mr. 3 delivered a slap to Buggy's head. Now put yourself together, the cameras are running. What? Buggy cried. Trixie needs a minute, Trixie huffed, her hands winking under Luffy's weight. You heard, Pops! He looked up to the remains of Marine HQ, debris raining down the plaza. Whitebeard marched through the bloodshed, his arms banging against the air, decimating everything in his path. Attacks came out from all sides, not even his might affording him absolute defense for the assault. Gaining more and more injuries, Whitebeard continued on his path, leaving only ruins in his wake. Pressing his teeth together, Ace grabbed Trixie by the scruff of her neck. We have to go! You're not going anywhere. Spinning around, Ace was met with Ikainu advancing on him. He felt his grip shift, and he looked back to Luffy on the ground. Trixie had disappeared into the fog of dust and smoke. Summoning his flames, Ace placed himself in front of Luffy. So, you do know how to face a man, said Ikainu as he stepped closer, magma dripping off of him and boring glowing holes into the ground. More than I could expect with your relic of a captain. You take that back! Ace growled. Pussing out of a marine, Jinbei looked around, eyes widening at the sight of Ikainu closing in. He turned to run over, but an array of swords rose up, cutting him off. Ace, no! Your father, Gold Roger, was always blocking Whitebeard, forever making him a loser. Ikainu continued. Now he's taking his last breaths, all because of his foolish sons. I can't think of a greater failure. Shut up! Ace shouted, his flames growing brighter. You don't know anything about Pops, or what he's done for me! I know that Whitebeard will die a loser. Ikainu shot back, pulling back his right arm, glowing a hellish red and thick smoke pulled off of it. Whitebeard is the greatest pirate in the world. He created this age! Ace screamed as he engulfed his own arm in flames. The name of this era is Whitebeard! Both Ikainu and Ace's fists exploded outwards in plumes of flame and lava. They raced forward, colliding in a smaller display of heat. Lava sluiced over the fire, consuming it and adding it to its own inferno. Gasping, Ace pulled his head back, his entire arm now red and blistering. Rookie Logia, Ikainu spat. You thought your fire could win against my magma? Allow me to show you how powerless you really are. He raced Ace's left, pulling his arm back again. The color drained from Ace's face as Akainu came down upon Luffy. Leaping to the attack's path, Ace reached out with his arms and wrapped them around Akainu's, his fists hovering only inches above Luffy's chest. As soon as spokes built up from Ace's body, grip and bulging around Akainu's arm. His left arm popped and hissed, his skin black and cracked. Still he glared at Akainu, a gust knocking out the Gamel's cap.
Even born with the same accursed haki as Roger.
He growled, pushing his arm forward and burning Ace further. Bits of lava dripped from his fist and fell onto Luffy, making him scream and twitch. Ace dared to look back, turning more white when Luffy stopped screaming and went limp. Planting his feet, he pushed harder against Akainu, but he just kept advancing.
Die a failure just like your beloved Pop.
A green blaze smashed into Akainu, knocking him away. Ace gazed at the empty space in front of him before falling down, the left half of his body still glowing from magma. He reached out to his right arm to try and spin himself around, letting yelp when a black hoof stomped onto his hand. Chrysalis leered down at him, labored breath escaping out of her mouth. Ink trickled down her forehead, past her swollen left eye running across her lips. One of her wings bent at an odd angle, with a thin membrane torn to shreds. Her Italian pupil contracted, and a maniacal grin spread across her face, revealing the gaping hole in place of one of her fangs. Just made it, she rasped, her mouth open wide. All that love. Give it now! She sunk her fangs down, but into blue fish rather than Ace's. After he erupted, Jinbei glared at her for a moment before slamming a fist into her abdomen. Her carapace rippled before countless cracks sprung up upon it. Chrysalis unclenched her jaw, gasping for air. Just as she got breath in, Jinbei delivered a swift kick to her chest, making her hack up Icar and launching into another part of the island.
Ace, Luffy,
Jinbei said, his voice quiet and strained. Reaching down, he picked up both now unconscious from their wounds.
I swear, I won't let you die here.
Wait, so you mean Ace is gonna live?
Ace will live.
Ah! Unleashing a torrent of magma, Akainu cleared away the rubble from his crash. Getting back up on his feet, he scanned the battlefield, eyes looking on trails of black smoke rising from the bulky figure making its way to the bay. A bit of blood trickled down to the side of his face. He clenched his fist, air distorting around from the heat. Admiral! A marine called back, turning successfully to his side. A glare from Akainu turned him white.
Destroy the pirates, he snapped. They will not leave this island alive.
A shockwave blasted into Akainu, forcing him down. Hand glowing with destructive power, Whitebeard pressed his fist further down on Akainu. The stone around him crackling and jutting outwards. He said nothing. He was glaring down on Akainu, his mouth hidden behind a sickle of a mustache. Hey, Whitebeard, if you could please throw that guy into the ocean. Say about a few miles away. Managing to twist his upper body around, Akainu faced Whitebeard. His left arm turned the color of blazing coals. Pushing with all his might, he launched upwards, shooting his incinerating hand at Whitebeard's head. In an instant, part of his mustache turned to ash, along with a chunk of his face. Yet he did not even flinch. Instead, he drove his forearm into Akainu's side, the sharp crack of his powers mixing with the breaking of Akainu's ribs. He remained caught on Whitebeard's massive arm for a moment as the sound echoed outward. Then the sky was rent asunder by a deafening rumble. Louder than thunder, cannon fire, or even the great shattering of the tsunami Whitebeard himself had created. All these were nothing compared to the great roar of the earthquake that tore across the island. Half of the plaza instantly made it return to rubble, swallowing up stone and marine alike. The main walls of Marine HQ, already on the verge of destruction, showered down on the war like rain, rubbling, smashing what Whitebeard hadn't. Chasms erupted across the island, plunging everyone close by into the sea. Coughing up blood, Akainu tumbled downwards into such a fissure. Turning, Whitebeard put the giant raft onto his back in front of him. A collection of remaining naval forces struggled back to their feet. Pacified, pirates stared in awe. Aww! It says aw! A-W-E! Ooh! Better. In horror at the decimation before spinning around and racing to the bay, tears in their eyes.
Almost there!
Jinbei gasped, clearing over the rubble, running like a freaking football player! He jumped past the docks and braced himself for the cold splash of water. Below, the sea glinted up at him. Waves crested high, but didn't come down, and the frozen tips dangling above a field of ice. Amidst the freezing ocean paralyzed ship, Akichi looked up.
Sorry, Jinbei.
He yawned.
No!
Jinbei cursed before multiple shots of light torn through his chest. Nearby, Kizaru kept his hands glowing, fingers pointing at Jinbei as he fell into the ice below. He landed with a thud, a small bit of the ocean breaking underneath him. Ace and Luffy were sprawled out next to them, their breasts shallow and their bodies unmoving. Akashi strided closer, summoning 3 ice partisans around him, raised him up, but a quake in the frozen area made him pause.
An aftershock?
He muttered, his eyes widened as he sighted the edge of his freezing domain. Yellow submarine! Yellow submarine! Rolls out of the wire. A stylistic smile standing what appeared to be a ship's wheel blazing on its sides. A hatch opened it up, and a man with a spider-white cap and deep bags under his eyes masked out. Balancing a siege sword on his shoulder, he stared out across the ice at Jinbei.
Hey! The man yelled. If you can still move, get Straw Hat and Fire Fist over here.
Scraping his fingers across the ice, Jinbei grunted and pushed down. His wounds dripped onto the frozen sea, staining it red. Another set of lasers struck at him in the back, sending him back into the ice. Hakaji turned his attention to whom, raised up his partisans once more, leveling at all 3 injured pirates. They rattled in the air, but then collapsed to the ground, along with the upper half of the creator. Falling, Hakaji stared at his lower body, and the blade of sand that cleaved through him. Sighing, he turned, meeting Crocodile's cold glare.
You gonna do that every time we fight?
Crocodile took a puff of his cigar. As he landed, glancing to his left, he saw a glimmer, and dispersed his right arm into a wall of sand. Kizaru's beam ran right into it, leaving a glowing bit of glass in place of a small amount of sand. Crocodile bit down a cigar, and traded glances with both animals as they advanced on him. Yes! Yes! Crocodile versus Akachi and Kizaru! Yes! Yes! 2-on-1! Kick their asses, Crocodile! Yes!
You're smarter than this, Crocodile.
Apparently not. Everyone still crouches, turned their heads upward. Celestia floated above them, staring down to Crocodile. You should have stayed locked up.
Celestia, Crocodile snapped. What the hell are you doing?
This. She raised up her leg, turning it back into a hoof, and shot into Crocodile's stomach. Oh, no! Celestia, don't take this away from me! You're disappointing everybody here! We all wanted to see this fight! He wants to see this fight! Come on! Let me have this! The wind blew out of him and careened backwards, smashing into a ship storm of debris. And I said ship storm! Turning around, Celestia glared down at Jinbei, Luffy, and Ace. All of this. She muttered. Her whole body began to glow. This is because of fools like you who couldn't follow the law. Now to finish what this war began. Celestia, why did you have to ruin it with a line like that? Alright, we had everything going fine here. We had a great fight, we had some excellent moments, we had something that was different, and then you had to pull this bullshit! Just do me a favor. Don't talk throughout the rest of the scene, alright? Okay, because for the first time in my life, for the first time since this whole damn thing began, I was actually happy! But then you had to pull this again! Oh, by the way, those who can't follow the law, have you met your sister? She went down to all fours, her body shifting back into equine shape. The glow faded from most of her body, but her horn grew even brighter, until Akashi had to look away. Kizaru jumped back. Jinbei tried to lift himself off the ground. Face pale and markedly confused as his arms gave out and collapsed into the ice again. Grating her teeth, Celestia unleashed a small beam, similar in size and speed to Kizaru's at the user group. It struck the ice below Jinbei, and then exploded into a blazing ball, raised outward, reducing ships to scraps, scouring the docks and melting away all the nearby ice, turning the sea into a boiling cauldron. Kizaru and Akashi leapt away from the inferno, while Celestia remained in place and let it wash over her. Explosively rushing towards his vessel, he grasped the hatch and spun around. Dive! The submarine vanished beneath the waves, the spear of heat and flame growing outward until it reached the edge of the bay. Its glow then dimmed and contracted until it was about the size of a large boulder, no brighter than any light bulb. Flurry of embers flecked off of it, dispersing into the wind, until only Celestia was left, floating amid cinders. Her wings gave small erratic flaps, barely keeping her above the water. So she is a swan! Honk! Her hose skimmed against the sea, soaking the grotesque black figure in her grasp. Reaching the edge of the ice, she grasped for air as her wings fell limply to the side. Her muzzle slanted to the frozen bay, while her body dipped into the turbulent sea. With a snort, she gave her wings one more flap, lifting herself and the body into the ice, slid across the frigid ocean, leaving behind a black stain. As she walked over and looked down at the corpse. Hidden under the ashes, the faint remains of a large tattoo. Its white mustache, now gray and flaking, stared back at Akashi with what was left of its skull.
Scary.
Kizaru commented, looking over the fast damage left by Celestia's attack.
What about Straw Hat Jinbei?
Akashi asked. I got what was left of Fire Fist. Celestia coughed, her body limp against the ice. Now, I must rest.
Still,
Kizaru looked over the edge of the bay.
we can't just leave the pirate ship show up and allow the balloon leave. Akachi, take Warlord Celestia back to shore. We can deal with Ace's body later. I got it, but first...
Akashi bent down, held his hand with ice, surged outward, reforming over the sea and spreading to where the submarine had dived.
That should slow him down.
Kizaru took a glance at what was left of Ace, and then launched into the air, sending a volley of light through the ice. His attack came to a sudden halt, and he raised up an arm, blocking a set of fiery talons. Marco glared down at Kizaru, and then back at the blackened figure next to Akashi. His eyes widened at the sight of the tattoo, before he ground his teeth into flames and roared up into the upwards. Flying back, he transformed his other leg into talons and unleashed a storm of kicks, scratched mixed with trails of fire at Kizaru. Kizaru continued blocking the attacks, a well-placed strike gripping his suit's left sleeve, leaving a gash across his flesh. He shot up a glowing white leg into Marco, sending him high into the sky. Gasping for breath, Marco swooped through the air, granting his flight path as his whole body shifted into bird form. Raced down, stretching out his wings in an attempt to smother Kizaru. In return, Kizaru dissipated into flashes of light, swimming behind Marco and firing off an array of beams.
Think I'll let you live?
Marco roared, the holes for Kizaru's beam quickly filling up with fire.
Commander Marco!
A pirate shouted down from below the docks, seeking draft towards the sea walls. Look! Thought the walls stood a collection of figures. Behind them loomed a great shape as tall as Marine HQ, and it was still undamaged. Celestia twisted an eye up where the pirate was pointing her, and her breath caught in her throat. With arms crossed, a hosed figure glared down at the roar and snorted. Jagged horns rose out of his head. Sharp-like fangs smiled spread across his face as he breathed in the smoke and gunpowder.
The smell of carnage and despair,
he mused, stopping one of his 4 cloven legs against the ground.
It has been too long.
T-Rex, Celestia gasped. No! Alright, T-Rex, as awesome as I like to see you, it would have been nice if we had some foreshadowing to your appearance, and, it would have been nice if we gotten a hint to you popping up in the previous chapters, and I know I summarized a lot, but I saw you did not get mentioned. You were not shown up. You just popped up! Not that I don't mind seeing you. You are awesome. Color rained from multiple Marines as they took into sight.
Flip those other guys, T-Rex!
Why? One Marine quivered. His eyes focused on the tall figure cloaked in Impel Down's uniform. Why is Chief Tailor Siru there? Forget that. The devil's over there. Those are all criminals that should have been erased, a Vice Admiral snapped. What madman would unleash upon them on the world? Whitebeard held his Bacento in midair as the cool fans from the tip of it. He slammed the butt of it down into the ground, fist rattling its pole. With his remaining eye, he glared up at the group atop of the wall. Scowl pressed across his face when he looked at the round finger in the middle of them. Teach! Blackbeard cackled, leaning on one leg and looking down at Whitebeard.
Oh, damn, Lucy. I'm glad to see you die, old man.
Captain Law! The crewmate yelled, spinning away from the sonar screen. Reading says the sea's freezing above us, and we got projectiles inbound. To dive lower. Seismic activity is turning the seabed into a death trap. We can't. The crewmate's mouth dropped, and he pressed his face to the screen. Captain! The ice is floating around us. Nothing is getting within a click of us. What? We're picking up unknown readings at 2 o'clock and keeping pace with us, another crewman yelled. Sir, why don't we have any chicks aboard our crew? Law scanned over the screen to the deck, his crew racing over around him in all directions. What the hell is going on? Squeezing through a tiny door, a hulking man lumbered to the room and raced over to Law. Captain, people need your assistance! Law grabbed John Bart and pushed him back to where he'd come from. Oh, that's right, that is one of the other names of Law's crew. Racing through the narrow halls, they rounded a corner and came to a gaggle of wounded bodies, lids going in every direction. Jinbei gasped for breath as he tried to shift around, his injuries immobilizing him. Parson, Ace, and Luffy dangled out from under him, their bodies limp and pale. Underneath of it was a bear head, struggling under the weight of the three others. Beepo! Law called out, and trying to get Percy pushed on Jinbei. How did he get on the ship?
I don't know, Captain.
Beepo coughed. I was just walking down the hall when... He paused, turning his snout up to Jinbei and frowning. John told Law and managed to roll Jinbei and flat onto his back, freeing those below him. Grunted pain managed to twist his head in Law's direction. Can you help them? He huffed. Room, said Law. Holding out his hand, a small circle of wind rotated underneath it. A bubble of distorted air expanded and moved outward, phasing through everyone else. Suddenly, a group of crewmen appeared out of nowhere, hands still wrapped around when they held instruments. Blinking, they turned over to Law. Get them to the medical bay, he ordered. Spen rushed over and gently took hold of Luffy and Ace, taking care to move the two as little as possible. They disappeared down the corridor. Those that remained grasped Jinbei and managed to pick him up, grunting under his weight. Law walked away from his crew and down towards the medical bay. Pulling open the door, he entered into a scene even more hectic than his bridge. Luffy and Ace were operating on the operating tables, the crewmen sticking IVs into the former's arm. The man standing over Ace held the needles in their hands, but hesitated in injecting them. Making his way over, Law looked down and saw the source of the men's problems. Even his stomach rolled slightly at the sight of Ace's left arm. His right arm was horribly burnt and well, but at least it still resembled flesh. Shooting out a hand, Law ripped an IV from one of his men and poked it into Ace's legs. The accident garnered him a moan. Damn! Law cursed, twisting to his men. Get him out before he goes into shock! What? Ace coughed, barely able to form words. His fist fell to his right, eyes widening at the sight of men gathered around Luffy, jabbing needles to his arm and bringing scalpels into his chest. A small tongue of flame rose up from his right arm, forcing the crewman back. Stop! Scowling, Law loomed over Ace and put another needle in his leg. Straw Hat has a collapsed lung with severe trauma and lacerations to most of his body. Your limbs and torso are covered in 3rd and 4th degree burns. So let my men work or you die! Ace's face turned white. He grasped his another needle into his leg before his entire body slackened. Visit darkening, he stared up at Law. Luffy. Save Luffy. He should be the least of your worries. Law said, unseating his sword. A thwack echoed throughout the submarine. You know, Law has the ability to use the Devil Fruit power to remove your body parts. I don't know why he feels like he needs a sword. One day, someone will find it! The day will come! Whitebeard called out, his voice growing in strength until it reverberated across the marine fern. The One Piece does exist! Ding! Hey, I didn't know that my message of One Piece counter followed me here. What's this? I'll follow you everywhere, Captain. Cool. Like a wave, granted even the tsunamis he swum in, his words crashed down upon the island. On the Saboti God! Archipelago. Read this properly. You guys can see the problem here. It's Sabandi. See? Nobody says it's Sabandi. They say Saboni. Crowd stared up, and the lone screen tent displayed the Great War in a brief moment of silence. It shouted in war, gasps and shouts as reporters grasped for dropped notepads, and everyone swarmed over to the closest Den Mushi. From afar, hidden amongst a pile of rubble, Tracy stared at Whitebeard, her whole body covered in goosebumps, and the heart racing in her chest. His words were gibberish to her, but their weight pressed down like a great quake he caused. Yet, what truly made her shiver was the sheer monstrosity of the man. With half his face blown off and bleeding to death, he still ravaged Blackbeard's crew, sliding them down like flies. Even when Blackbeard had grabbed him and the tremors had ceased, Whitebeard was relentless, and had driven his Besetto deep into Blackbeard's shoulder. He was so focused on squashing him, he hadn't noticed Blackbeard's crewmates recovering and race at him. A hail of gunfire had fallen upon Blackbeard, his sword slashed at him from every direction. Yet he hadn't fallen. Like an immovable mountain, he had taken all the attacks from Blackbeard and his men and would not budge. Now he stood unmoving. His body had been riddled with bullets. His flesh had been cut and stabbed by all manners of blades, and his bones had been battered by cannons and motors. Even though he spent his last final breath on the Pirate King's treasure, he would still not fall. Only one thing of Whitebeard's plummeted that day. Slipping off his shoulders, his great jacket dropped to the ground, revealing his sculpted back. A few Marines sucked in their breath at the sight of Whitebeard's bare skin. In spite of years voyaging, countless battles, and the damage he accumulated in the war, he bore not a single mark of retreat upon his back! The awe-inspiring sight vanished under a black tarp, hiding both Whitebeard's body and Blackbeard under it. While Marines and pirates alike watched the scene with trepidation, Tracy slipped out of her hiding space and crept across the ground. She didn't even make it a yard before a red-clawed hand scooped her up. Hot, putrid breath blew over her mane. Eyes smoldering like hellfire glanced at her. She couldn't even take a breath as Lord T-Rex held in her grasp.
This is a prize,
He said, tightening his grip with each word.
I was hoping to find Celestia and pay her back for taking my castle and locking me up.
His hold suddenly loosened. Trixie gasped for breath. Grinning, T-Rex pulled her closer to his face until he was right next to his mouth, inches away from his fangs and pressing against his rough beard. Please, Tracy stared. Don't. T-Rex gave a great booming laugh akin to the roar. Ears ringing, Tracy found herself staring into his eyes. His skull were wreathed in dark flames that spilled out to the sides of his head. Tracy felt a chill looking into his pupils. Great abysses far more foul than his mouth that threatened to swallow her, yet she could not turn away.
Kill you. That's the last thing I want.
His voice echoing like thunder.
No. You are the rare exception to your race.
He squeezed Trixie again, this time not enough to cause her serious pain. His grin widened.
Yes.
He mused.
Pride in your talents, even as a showman. Greed to always want more cheers, more fans, more money. And even though it glows dim, rage.
Really? Trixie's an exception to the whole pony race? Have you seen the other ponies out there? Hello? Flip and Flam? They're far more greedy than Trixie. The Trixie's got a list here. Trixie is not an exception. Ponies are just as diverse as humans, you know. There's...
I know. That script made me say it all right. Still, it was a good line, you gotta admit.
Yes, it was a cool line, but...
But it doesn't make sense here.
You know, Trixie thinks he likes you.
Thank you. I actually have some sanity around here.
As T-Rex spoke, Trixie's irises grew red and her pupils widened. Her muscles tensed up and her face contorted into a scowl. They made a fool of me. Made a fool of Trixie.
Want to make them pay.
T-Rex horns glowed with the same Hellosaurus eyes, glow creeping down and wrapping around Trixie.
I will give you your vengeance.
Unleashing her, T-Rex stepped back, his magic keeping Trixie floating in the air. It tightened around her as she gnashed her teeth, fangs poking out of her mouth and pupils narrowing into slits. T-Rex's magic turned black, wrapping Trixie around a shadowy cocoon that grew outwards until it was just slightly smaller than Lord T-Rex himself. In a blast of blood-red light, darkness faded away, revealing an abominable creature. Blue scales, glistening like scales, covering his sharp snout and razor-like talons. Tusks with tips like swords protruded out of his face, past fangs that bit at the air, growling and thrashing its spiked tail around, its head jet of flame, dark like the depths of the sea into the air. T-Rex's hand glowed again. A steel collar appeared in it. Bending down, he snapped it around the beast's neck and gave it a tug.
All I ask is that you be my steed.
Nearby, the tarp came down, revealing Whitebeard's body still standing with Blackbeard at his side. I'm sorry, Blackbeard. My apologies, but, T-Rex alone in that last scene probably just showed you up. I'm sorry. Even this stupid copy of the scene from the actual manga can't save you right about now. A few Marines gathered to carts and advanced on him, their weapons raised. He bellowed before shooting his hand down. Shadows, thick like fog, emanated from his right hand, staining the ground behind him black. Before the Marines could fire and swing their blades, they were swallowed up by the abyss.
That's my dark fruit powers,
Blackbeard proclaimed. He twisted his torso right and flexed his left arm, achieving a stance that made a pit form in everyone's stomach.
And this!
In a blur, he slammed his left fist against the air, fissure spreading across the sky where he struck it. The rumble returned to the island, like a devil arising from the deepest pit, filling everyone's heart with terror. The earthquake exploded out from Blackbeard, demolishing the half of the remaining parts of Marine headquarters. His laugh filled the island, crushing the advent of a nightmare like this world had never known.
Today, my era begins,
he proclaimed, crackling the entire time.
At the start, I'm gonna sing Marineford.
T-Rex joined the group, his beast hissing at Blackbeard.
I love it. Oh, if only.
A massive shockwave, a pair of Whitebeards slammed into Blackbeard's crew. Galloping, Sengoku thrust his other enormous golden hand, releasing another great blast that cleaved through stone and made Blackbeard and his men cough up blood. They hurled backwards under the force of the attack, barely managing to get back to their feet once they landed. At the edge of the island was spray from the rolling bay washing over them. Agate and Celestia looked on, Lyra's eyes wide with fear. Admiral, she huffed, T-Rex, you have to defeat him. Well, he's weak.
Whoa,
Agate replied.
Looks like whoever that is fighting against the fleet Admiral God. There's a distance, even for me.
Then, I have to go. Celestia took her hose down and pushed, getting up only an inch before falling back to the ground. She put one foreleg in front of the other, dragging herself forward. A faint pink glow appeared on her body for a moment, before vanishing again as she collapsed. Agassi bent down to grab her, but stopped at the click of a rifle. Switching his view to the left, he was met with a muzzle pointing right towards him. Holding a rifle was a grizzled man, his hair gray like the smoke that drifted off his cigarette.
We'll be taking that warlord from you.
Agassi gave a deep sigh.
I'll get in big trouble if I just hand a warlord over to White Emperor's crew.
Blackbeard yelled as the shockwave meant Sengoku's in the air. The combined attacks tilted the entire island and seabed around it.
No one can stop me. I'll destroy everything. I'll swallow everything.
The harsh scrape of metal against stone drew his attention away from the destruction he caused. Out of the chaos, a small group marched through the battlefield, Marine and pirate alike stepping out of their path. In spite of the currents around them, one of the men moving forward took a big bite out of a leg of meat. Another one was scarred like a crescent running down his face and let a monkey pull at his mouth. They and the other members all made the Marines gulp, and the pirates stared in awe and confusion. none more so than the man at the head of the group. His black cape fluttered in the wind, occasionally flapping back enough to reveal an empty space in the place of a left arm. His eyes glared at Blackbeard, the left one twitching around the 3 diagonal scars that ran across it.
"Shanks," said Sengoku, "how the hell is he here?"
"I've come to put an end to this war." Shanks declared, his red head flowing in her hair. "Enough blood has been spilled by both sides. But if you still want to fight..." Shang! He slung his sword down, sending his sparks against the ground. "Come on. We'll fight you." Ace's eyes shot open. He sprung up, only for intense pain to flare up at his side. He shot out his right arm to grasp at it, but only felt the stump press against his chest. Looking down, he was met with a red hoof. Jeez! Think brothers and big older siblings in arms just cannot catch a break. "Hello?" he called out, room spinning. Round up, he stared at the ceiling. Silence greeted him, making his heart race. Gaining more and more consciousness, memory fled back to him. He remembered the yelling, the battle, and the fear as Akainu raced towards Luffy. Unable to take it anymore, he rolled to his side, tumbling over the bedside and taking the linen sheets with him. He gave a sharp gasp for the landing. Biting back a cry, he pushed back up with his hose, but slammed down to the left side. This time, he did not scream. Fresh blood staining the bandages and wrapped around his torso. Blinded by pain, he stumbled forward, continually banging his left side into the ground. The click of the door unlocking entered his ears. Something purple rushed over to him and frantically tapped the ground. "Princess! Princess!" it called out. He's conscious, but it looks like he fell out of bed. He needs help!" Ace suddenly found himself being lifted off the ground. A sharp stab of heat hit his side, quickly replaced by a cooling sensation that spread across his body. Slight refocusing, he got to see that a golden aura surrounded him and kept him a few inches off the ground. At his side was a purple pony, her mane deep in the gold with a twin stripe of magenta and lavender running down through it. Her eyes looking back at him, slowly gravitating to his left side. Her muzzle turned a steady liar. "Twilight, you've done enough. Starlight, you've done enough. Leave us." Breaking away from Starlight, Ace looked over at the voice's source. Celestia stood at the room's door, moving aside to let Starlight pass. Starlight paused for a moment, eyes slipping over the bandages that wrapped around various parts of Celestia's body. With a bow, she left, disappearing down the hallway outside. Celestia and Ace were the only two in the room. Celestia closed the door and locked it. She kept Ace floating in the air, but pulled him a little closer.
"What's going on?" Ace asked. "Why am I here? Where's Luffy?"
"Calm yourself. You've already opened one set of wounds," Celestia sighed. "I don't wish to continuously keep healing while I'm recovering."
"I don't care!"
Ace yelled, a few flames streaking across his body. They instantly vanished and Ace grabbed at his throat. Celestia sighed again, before dissipating the aura around Ace's head. He grasped for air before glowing at her. Wait. So she was able to do that, but she couldn't do the same for when she was Nightmare Celestia on Luffy?
"You take me to wherever this is, and now you're trying to kill me?"
He coughed. "I can't stop you from burning up your own oxygen," Celestia replied. "Since you won't listen, I will tell you. Straw Hat is in a stable condition. I hope he would awaken first. But it seems whatever trials he went through rescuing you have drained him of everything but sleep." Muscles loosening, Ace slipped against Celestia's spell, Aura bending to match his relieved posture. He sniffed as tears flowed out of his eyes and drifted to the floor. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. He can also thank the doctor who saved your life as well. "Don't mention it. I try my best," said Celestia. "He was adamant about staying here until at least you were awake." The memory of the man with the spy cap living armor came back to Ace.
Him. Good. I want him to thank him for everything.
Without him, Luffy and Jinbei might not have made it.
Jinbei is okay too, right?
Yes. He's actually just outside and has waited there since he woke up.
Great, Ace said, starting to smile. Let's tell him then.
Celestia frowned, lowering her head to the ground. He can come see you, after we're done talking, and if you're cooperative. For one, you won't be leaving that bed again without assistance.
I felt a little woozy when I got up, but that's... Ace trailed off, knowing Celestia was staring at the same spot that Starlight had focused on.
His eyes wandered downward. Row after row of bandages wrapped around his shoulder and continued all the way down to his hips. But there was nothing further to his side.
Trembling, he sent a hoof and brushed through the empty air where her limbs should have been. Lips trembling, he looked over to Celestia. I'm sorry, she said with her head held low. When my sister managed to reach you, it was far too late to save your arm. Ace shifted backward and stared at the ceiling. Eyes dulled. The room was silent for a long time before Ace spoke again. Pops. What about Pops? That can come later, Celestia answered, her face tensing up. Whatever happened, nothing you do will change it now.
What?
Ace yelled, flames building up around him again.
Just tell me what happened!
No. Celestia tried over to Ace. He placed a hoof on him, smothering some of his flames and pulling him closer to your eye to eye. I will not burden you with things that do not matter to you anymore.
Of course it matters to me. They're my family!
I know. They shed enough tears to prove that. What? Your arm is not the only piece you've pried for your life, said Celestia, her tone heavy as armor. Portuguese D. Ace is dead. It will take some time to adjust, but a life of Equestria, freed of the hatred that cursed your very blood.
Everybody, once again, point out the exceptions here! Nightmare Moon!
You see,
Canon is so much fun, isn't it?
But Equestria is so...
Sorry, but Canon kind of proves you wrong multiple times.
Several. It's kind of hard to ignore that, isn't it? It's far more preferable to the execution at the hands of the world government. I promise, until the end of your days, you will be safe here. My little pony.
Paramount War ends. Ripples across the world.
Celestia opened her eyes, raising a hood to shield them from the sunlight that trailed through the small, rounded window.
Sorry, Celestia, but you're still stuck here.
Darn it. She gasped and sat up, catching her breath when her head exploded, sending her tumbling into the bed she had woken on. She remained still for a moment, sending her breathing while the ache at the base of her horn faded away. Her attention went down to the queasy feeling in her stomach. Placing a hoof over it, she pressed it against the bandages rather than fur and snorted, realizing the nauseous sensation was a rare but familiar one.
Apologize for the slipshod first aid.
Twisting over to the voice's direction, Celestia lit up her horn, basking the dim cabin in a pale golden glow. The ache in her head returned and grew until she was forced to shut off her spell. Huffing, she glared in her caretaker's direction, his red hair still illuminating in the candlelight. Shanks, Celestia grumbled. Darling!
That's right, people. Shanks is so manly. He even makes a xenophobic Celestia fall in love with him. Shanks is so manly that, yeah, I don't even mind a human in Equestria Celestia love for him. That's how manly and badass Shanks is. He makes the girls swoon. As a matter of fact, I heard that one point when Shanks went on to the archipelago, went on to the Amazon Lily, all the girls just swooned in his presence. That is how awesome red-haired Shanks is.
Don't be so hard on yourself. He chuckled. Sounds like you were quite busy lately. Where are we?
My ship, a few leagues away from this tub current.
Celestia slowly rose up, sheets falling off of her. What game are you playing? Am I your captive now?
I was kidding earlier!
Shanks slapped his right knee and gave a hurried laugh.
Is that what the world government thinks I'm up to now?
Shanks stopped laughing and a silence pervaded the room. The creak of the ship echoed through his and Celestia's ears. He took a deep breath before opening his mouth again.
You know more about this war than anyone, and I want to discuss what's going to happen to now. And thank you for saving Luffy.
Celestia's eyes narrowed. The last anyone saw of Straw Hat was by attack swallowing him.
A scabbard buzzed against the floor. Saint grits his sword hilt, pulled it out just enough for the glimmer to huff of steel.
Sliding back into his sheath, he stared at Celestia, no hint of a smile remaining.
You wouldn't be here if you really done that.
Setting his sword down, he grinned.
But it sounds like you really saved his skin. Still, rushing into danger without thinking, he must have formed a group crew to get this far at least.
Shanks turned to look out the tiny window, eyes glazed over in distance. What do you want? Celestia asked.
Well, I get the feeling you already had a plan in mind. So you're free to do whatever you want once you can move again. However,
Standing up, Shanks made his way over to the door and cracked it open. He poked his head out. With his lone arm, he gestured for someone else to come in and fully opened the door. With red eyes and a slight slump to his back, Marco walked into the room. Shanks slid back as well and twisted the lock, sealing the cabin off from the outside world.
I want a pact made before any of us speaks.
Shanks glanced over at Celestia.
What we say here will not leave this room.
Marco, you understand that?
Yeah.
Marco murmured. He lifted his head up and stared at Celestia with listless eyes.
Ace, did you kill him?
No. Marco's legs gave out. He went to his knees. Tears streamed down his face. He stained the wood at his feet. Sobbing, he raised up a hand and pushed back his hair. Celestia and Shanks waited in silence before he could speak again.
Is he still alive?
He managed to choke out. I can't say, Celestia replied. All I did was a serious escape from Marineford. He'd probably already been horribly injured by the time I got to him.
He's in good hands.
Shanks paused.
Hoops.
Celestia's eyes widened. She raced out of bed and pinned Shanks to the wall, even as the room spun around her. What have you done?
Well, I did ask your sister, so it was her own
Hey! So that was in the previous few chapters? God, why didn't you describe it? Why didn't you say a red-haired stallion walked by to say hello? I would have been excited. I would have loved it if you described Shanks. It would have been a great description. Then we could have gone in awe. But instead, no. All you said was, it was a stallion that said hello to Luna. I don't know who it was. It could have been anybody. It could have been Fancy Pants. It could have been Big Freaking Mac for all I knew. Descriptions, Vic. We need descriptions. You brought Luna into this? Celestia yelled, pushing hard at Shanks. Do you know what she's gone through? What you dragged her through? Nothing. She just teleported Luffy away. There's really nothing else. Marco rose off the ground and caught Celestia's hose, managing to wrest her off Shanks. He flung her back onto the bed while Shanks slid into the ground, gasping for air. All three of them caught their breaths, with Celestia glaring at the two pirates. That's not even getting into how you got to her in the first place.
Don't worry, Shanks rasped. I've already checked off the captain by going there.
He made us all swear to never reveal anything about it. Captain? Celestia blinked. Her eyebrows nodded and frowned. Darn. Is there anything Roger didn't lay his hands on?
The dude's awesome. You gotta give him that.
Yeah, I know.
They do say you obtain everything the world had to offer. Shanks chuckled.
Shake your head, Celestia sighed. If Luna is with them, then I'm certain he will live. A smile came to Marco's face, along with a few more tears. He receded when he saw Celestia staring at him, lips drawn into a tight line. Wiping his eyes, he looked back at her, a chill racing in the hairs on his neck. Maybe it would have been better if you thought I killed Fire Fist. Because that's what you're going to tell the rest of your crew.
What?
Or tell him it was Kizaru. You seem to think of him, it was him anyway. Celestia raced off to bed, trotted over to Marco. Either way, this is the end of Portuguese D. Ace. Marco slammed a foot to the ground, fist shaking his side.
A goodbye? Can't we say that?
No. Today was the day Ace died. His time in this world's done. Mourn him if you wish, but do not seek him. Marco banged the fist against the wall, leaving a hole of it. He spun away from Celestia and looked out to the darkness of the room.
We had his things ready.
The other man will think of it strange if we don't decorate his grave. But can you at least give him one thing? Only one and nothing more.
Thank you,
Marco whispered. He turned around and stumbled over to the door, stopping to look at Shanks.
Sorry, red hair.
I can't stay anymore. I need to tell the men. Hey, little brother, could you come over to the side of the sofa here for a bit? I need a second opinion on this. On this scene you've been listening to so far, do you think the way Celestia said it was rather cold of her? And out of character? I need a second.
It was.
Thank you. I needed to say that. You could go back to being blissfully unaware of this fic now. I love him. Shanks suddenly unlocked the door and held it open. Mark shuffled out, sunlight on the wet stains he left on the ground. Once he would go, Celestia saw all the remaining Whitebeard pirates gathered around the ship's deck. In the middle of them was a massive black shroud that spread over a figure that took up a good part of the floor. As the door closed, Celestia saw Marco's lips move. The arrow pirates stared at him, people shrinking into tiny dots. Some gnashed their teeth, others raised weapons. A few even came to blows with each other. Most of them fell to their knees and wept. On an island, a day after the war, the glowing end of a cigar around the black ink of the newspaper. The ember smoked before catching fire, incinerating the headline. Whitebeard dead! Flames spreading. Crocodile dropped a special report, letting it burn a bit before stomping into ash. Racing to his jacket, he pulled a fresh cigar and stuck it in his mouth. He clicked open the lighter, flicking it open a few times to gain a spark. The flame failed to catch before a green tendril touched the tip of the cigar, lighting it with an emerald glow. Crocodile stared at the cigar, then to his left. Chrysalis frowned in his cold gaze. Sighing, as he fell back and rested her bandaged head against the stone wall. I take it you didn't like the news. Having our faces shown across the world would be an issue.
Then you'll be happy to know that neither of us was mentioned.
Crocodile sucked in some smoke and blew it in Chrysalis' direction, clouding her vision. Clearing the air with a hoof, she raised an eyebrow. My high faces on them, and they don't even feel the need to warn the citizens of us. No wonder this town was so unprepared. Celestia is less foolish than this world government of yours.
Shouldn't you be getting back to your little revenge plot?
Crocodile growled. Occasionally drove bows down and bowed to Chrysalis, hucking up a tiny pink spear. Giving it a nod, she floated up to her mouth and shot down on it. In an instant, it shriveled up and disappeared. A small grin spread across her lips, revealing its full set of fangs. It's been dealt with, she said, giving her neck a crack. Besides, your offer sounds much more appealing. She sat up and trotted over to Crocodile. Batting her eyes out, she leaned close as her magic swirled around her, consuming her form and replacing it with her human disguise. He scowled at her and raised his hook, raking the crib across his cheek.
The last woman to work for me at least only wore ridiculous outfits,
he growled, pressing his hook and drawing blood. Chrysalis yelled, but Crocodile pulled in close to see where they were eye to eye.
She ended up stabbed through the chest and left to die.
A shudder ran through Chrysalis, followed by a mischievous grin. Her tongue went out and lapped up some of the blood as she backed away. Not a speck of love in you for anything but power.
Why am I thinking, oh, I so need to write a lemon for this.
I'll be right back. And Andy can't stop me! Crossing her arms, she looked down the street, grin spreading. Smoke runs up from numerous homes, a few only already having their classes of cinders. The only places not touched by the inferno were covered by a sticky turquoise substance. A few hands and feet stuck out of the grotesque entrapments, while the pale, unconscious heads dotted them. Changelings buzzed through the remains of the town, drones sometimes stopping a villager with a healthier complexion and sinking their fangs in them, turning them white like the rest. Basking in the hellish glow, Chrysalis danced through the destruction. Crocodile continued smoking out a cigar, eyes on the shore and the sea beyond. He glanced over to Mr. One, leaning on a partially covered wall, looking the same direction, neither paying attention as Chrysalis reveled in her conquest.
You called?
No! She reveled in her conquest, not you, Dark Conquest! Fine. Celestia sat on her throne, the only sound in the room, the steady inhale and exhale of her own breath. Her gaze remarked on an iron floating in front of her. A click from the door at the other end of the royal hall jolted her away from it. In a flash, the iron vanished and slipped back to her throne, correcting her posture. A guard rushed to the head of the room, armor echoing against the walls of stained glass. He stopped at the stairs leading up to Celestia Luna's throne, giving himself a bow.
Your Highness, he said, catching a breath, a code black has gone out. Citizens have already been told to stay inside, but the Unicorn Regiment is having difficulty initiating a barrier spell.
Chrysalis can't have already recovered. Rising off her throne, Celestia trod down the steps, bidding her guard to rise. What's the cause?
Approximately 15 minutes ago, a Pegasite patrol is sent to the drone. They tried to capture it unharmed, but... The guard paused for a moment. Apparently cracked like glass is how the patrol put it.
We got first aid being applied to it right now. And let's not waste any more time, Celestia replied, opening the doors for magic. Where are we keeping it? The guards sped in front of Celestia and led her down the halls. Returning to room C, with 2 unicorns supplying barriers and 82 medics waiting for security. Twisting through the halls, they eventually descended below ground, passing a pair of guards. Torchlight illuminated the dark path and shadows dancing out the cell walls. Eventually they came to a stop in part of the dungeons that was brighter than the rest. With a glow of magic, guards stood at the sides of the large window. It is so Celestia could look in, but the occupants couldn't see outside. The changeling rested atop an iron table. His head was cuffed to the sides and a restraining bolt kept on his horn. Oh, poor thorax! His chest rose and fell at tiny intervals, highlighting the thin membrane stretched over its endoskeleton. A unicorn guard loomed over it, horn aglow and aura set over the parts of the changeling, concentrating on a swath of his back where the chitlin was cracked and dripping ichor onto the table. When onto the guard, Celestia entered the room. The changeling looked over to her and let out a weak buzzing noise. Suddenly his eyes grew bright, shifted from blue to green. In place of buzzing, chrysalis came out of her mouth. Celestia, it's a shame you're still breathing, but I suppose having you dead would hinder our deal a bit. This drone will provide you with directions to the hive. Do with them what you will. Celestia opened her mouth to ask a question, but the changeling's eyes flicked from black to blue, and its head fought against the table. All the guards looked up at her, waiting for her to speak. With a sigh, the pink aura rose up, and her body drifted over to the changeling. His breath became less erratic, and his body appeared to loosen up. When it wakes up again, remove the bolt and contact me. She spun around and marched to the door, pausing to turn around. You can lift the cold black as well. I'll need the court ready for an emergency session. Luna sat with her back against the wall, eyes glued to the bed in the middle of the room. A light brown pony hovered over the bed, glowing its horn, tilting its spotted head back. A variety of instruments floated around him, occasionally jerking either closer or farther away from him. His attention was rooted on Luffy, mainly the stained bandages on his chest and the breathing apparatus around his mouth. In addition, a variety of needles jutted out of his legs, connecting to multiple IV bags. Taking a breath, the pony backed away, slamming its tools into a nearby tray filled with disinfectant. Rubbing an eye, he trotted over to Luna. She looked at him with a frown. Straw Hat, how is he? He is healing, the pony replied, but slowly. The treatments he received up to this point were just to keep him going. Not truly healed him. From the sound of things, he was already sped before he even got to the war. And his dreams are an assaulted mess, Luna sighed, pushing herself to the ground. I just wish we could use some of the higher level healing spells on him. Why can't you? On her side, she lit up her horn, opening up the room's door. The pony Luffy's side trotted through, followed by Luna. Before leaving, she gave one last glance back at the bed, and gently shut the door. Turning around, she caught up with the other pony, seeing his belly cast over when he tripped over his snout. You take the magic red, but it seems that trotting is still the problem. It won't matter, the pony replied. I'll be gone as soon as Straw Hat and Fire Fist are up. He put a hoof forward, but was unable to move. Glancing back, he saw his torso was still wrapped in Luna's spell. Sir Law, you still haven't answered the question of why you did this. Luna pulled him closer. Your arrival to Straw Hat. Would it have been easier to stay away from the war? Maybe. Although I could ask why a diarch of the kingdom no one should know about is so concerned with a pirate. Before Luna could shoot back an answer, a blur of roses exploded around them. Ruby bounded out of the storm of paper, fake wings strapped to her back and now attached to her foreleg. That's because the author wanted to rip off Boa Hancock's love for Luffy so badly that he transferred it to Luna. Oh, I get it. Bad writing. Bad writing! But still, I need to do this. What? Then there was a cut writing down Ruby's mail. Going cross-eyed, the two halves fell to the floor. Both sides frowned for a moment. Oh, so we're gonna play puzzles? I bet I could beat a record this time. I'm going for a walk. Ruby jumped onto his shoulder, already let's say for the tip of her nose. With a wink on her face, her muzzle wheels back together, making her whine. Oh, we're playing hide and seek then? Room. Elaw said. Law vanished, and Ruby fell to the ground. Giggling, she jumped back and looked over at Luna. Oh, I think he's sighing. Gah! Blackbeard screamed. T-Rex beast sank his feet deep into his arm, blood spilling to the ground. It sizzled and turned to smoke instantly, mixing with the roaring furrows that raised across the entire island. Blackbeard slammed a fist into the beast's head, a clumsy shot dropping to the ground. Shaking his arm, he glanced over to T-Rex.
Keep your damn piece on the leash or I'll find a new one.
Oh, I intend to.
T-Rex's hand glowed with his beast flowing over him. Stroking his head, he gave a small hiss, coughing up a puff of smoke.
You did say you wanted a place to test your powers without the world government noticing, right?
Where do you have in mind?
Home.
A fang grin spread across Lord T-Rex's face.
I need to say hello to my old mind.